Hello, YouTube world. It's Marcy Kennedy. I'm here with ReSELLer Mom on our very first, or my very first episode of ReSELLer Files. So I have Lucy, ReSELLer Mom, with me. I asked her to be my first guest tonight because I have been following her channel, I have to say, rather closely for probably about 2 months, and she has just given me so much confidence to go out there and kind of start looking for new things. And she gives a lot of tips and tricks as far as Amazon FBA goes. And so I wanted to personally thank her because my Amazon sales have just really taken off.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Those are the best things to hear because I've gotten so much from YouTube as well. I mean, I follow a lot of other people, and including yourself and a lot of other YouTubers out there, and also on Instagram and Facebook. And the amount of content that people share is just so nice because really, when you work by yourself, where else do you have to turn to?
Yeah, you have nowhere else to go.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, I've just, like I said, I've been watching you. I've watched a couple of your videos before, and I started Amazon FBA just in January.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really new, and
But
um,
you've done eBay though
I've done eBay
for a while.
since November, and I was on Poshmark before that since
Okay.
July. Okay, so yeah, so just following you, you've led me through different stores, and Kohl's and TJ Maxx, and I know that you love Tuesday morning. I have one Tuesday morning in the area that I've not hit up quite yet, but I'm gonna
Okay.
get there. So I've just wanted to say thank you, because even today I had 3 really awesome sales,
Oh,
you
what'd you
know,
sell?
bras.
Yeah.
I know. I was like,
Nice.
who would have ever thought? Bras.
Yeah. It's they sell. I don't get
And
it.
yeah, just
Well,
watching
I mean,
you
I get
just
it.
yeah, well, you're gonna get it because you sell a lot of bras. So, but watching you, it just gave me confidence to go out there and, start scanning clothing. And before I was scanning just, I was staying with the hard goods. And then watching you, I started scanning clothing, and I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. And you have given me such great bolos, like, wallflower. And I just sent in my first pair of wallflower I think it was last week. Yeah. So I'm just really excited.
Yeah, I started 4 years ago, but I wish I had learned more about clothing beforehand. And my push into clothing was just physically handling inventory. Clothes are much smaller and easier to do, and so that's kind of been my focus over the last, I'd say, 8 months or so, and learning the ins and outs of clothing. So it's
Yeah.
been
Now, have you noticed higher ROIs with your clothing, or just more sales velocity, or what's changed in your business because of doing more clothing?
Uh, well, you could definitely fit more into a box to ship. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's been times where I'm fitting, maybe a dozen toys that are big or games or whatnot into a box. And I started off in books, so books are very heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And I was shipping, small, kind of compact, heavy books. And while that's great, I'm not really enjoying it because I don't know, they smell and you have to clean them. There's a lot of stickers and this and that and the other. The other thing that I enjoy about clothes is a lot of people don't do them as much. When you see a lot of other resellers out there, and maybe the trend will change, but I see a lot of people focusing on hard goods, focusing on toys and home goods and things, which are great,
Mhm.
great things. But as you learn different products, you've got to variety yourself to see what's in your area,
Mhm.
and B, what the competition's like. There's been points where the books have been so cutthroat that it's
Oh,
like, okay,
yeah.
well, I need to not do that anymore because I'm not willing to fist fight you over the books.
Yes. Yeah, I've noticed. Yeah, I believe, this is just my opinion, but I believe that books are actually more tough on Amazon than what they're made out to be. So yeah,
Um,
so I just want to say hello real quick to Craig Landshark Picker, and to Gina as well. So those are 2 of my buddies from many months ago.
Nice.
Yes. So
Yeah.
welcome, guys.
Um, so I'm not familiar with the Florida scene, but what is some of the things that you think are in your area that are good to source? Clothes are just really a plentiful up in my area, so that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons I'm
Um,
drawn to them.
yeah, I've been really focusing on Kohl's and TJ Maxx for the clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then also the other thing I really enjoy doing is Home Goods and TJ Maxx as well for
Mm-hmm.
a lot of their stationery and party supplies, the
Party
napkins and
supplies.
yeah, a lot of the napkins, the party napkins, the little beverage napkins and yeah.
I've seen
Wait.
one or two products at TJ or Tuesday Morning, but I've never
Mhm.
really looked at the TJ Maxx
Definitely check it.
supplies.
Yeah, definitely check them out because I've been able to get like 100 to 200% ROI for those.
Nice. That is, yeah. I have a one set of like paper plates that does really well for me that I restock from Tuesday Morning, and I'm going, who's buying these paper plates? Like I'm so cheap.
I know
I
you're
go
like,
to the
don't they
dollar
know they're
store,
a
man.
Tuesday morning? I know. Yeah, and a lot of times you have to definitely do your keyword search though. That's the
Yeah,
key. That is
yeah,
definitely, as you know. Um, but yeah, that's how you find, or the using the image search. That's the other
yeah,
thing too.
yeah. But I did notice Ray Dunn is one of those brands that I've kind
Yeah.
of dabbled around with, and
Uh-huh.
sometimes their napkins do well, and glassware if you're willing to wrap it up
Yep.
appropriately.
I have some of their stationery right now, like
Mm-hmm.
their little notepads and things like that.
Yeah, it is. It
Definitely.
is hit or miss though
And
on the Ray Dunn. It's like one's
yeah.
amazing and the other one's nothing.
Yeah,
So.
and I had a conversation with somebody that used to work at TJ Maxx. It was a friend of my daughter's, and he said that for however they knew it, that these people that collect Ray Dunn, they know like when the deliveries are going to happen at TJ Maxx. He's like he couldn't figure out how they knew, but they knew, and they were cutthroat about getting that inventory before anybody else. So I guess Ray Dunn has a huge following that I didn't even know about.
Yeah, I didn't know quite about Ray Dunn until just a few months ago, and yeah, it was probably around the beginning of the year here, and I started just trying out different things with Ray Dunn and trying out different packing, and it kind of surprised me. But you can ask, sometimes you can ask the sales associates when they're getting deliveries that, and you
Mhm.
can go online to. I just downloaded. This is something I've been doing the last
Oh,
couple months
I'm
too.
going to take a little note here.
TJ Maxx, the apps. For yeah, I think it is TJ Maxx, but I'll double check. But you can buy those stuff on their app too. So I'll just sit there and look at whatever Ray Dunn or whatever brand you're wanting to look at, and you can purchase it online as well. So you don't even have to go into the store for some of the Ray Dunn stuff.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's one thing I've not dabbled in too much, a little
Yes,
tiny bit for jewelry.
TJ Maxx.
But in general, I've not really dabbled in online arbitrage yet.
Yeah, it's boy, it's hit or miss. I've been doing online for over a year, maybe two, and it's definitely hit or miss. I've had like I had a Hot Topic order that I placed 6-8 weeks ago, and it was in the pending processing
Just
stage.
have to say real quick, hot
Mhm.
topic. You know, remember
It was
do you remember those old hot pocket commercials? Hot
yes.
pocket.
Well, and
So
Jim Gaffigan's one of my favorites, so
so
he does a whole bit on Hot Pockets. That's
so
hilarious.
yeah, so every time my kids were talking about Hot Topic, that was like the big thing for my kids when they were that age. My older two, I always had to stop and be like, Hot Topic. So sorry, go ahead.
Oh, anyhow, it was in the processing
Just
stage
a little
for
Marcy moment.
weeks. And finally I called and I'm like, look, I don't know what's going on, but we've been processing for a month now. What's the deal? And they were like, we don't have the product anymore, so we'll cancel you out and refund you. But you get all sorts of weird stuff with OA. What's nice when you go to the store, you see the product, you know it's not broken for the most part. I mean, we all
If the lighting
miss.
is good. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's easy to miss stuff if the lighting's bad.
yes. And the other thing I learned with OA is I was doing some online or retail arbitrage at Lowe's, and some of the stores now, their new thing is you can order online and go pick it up at the store.
Mm-hmm.
So I got there and I was the first to this thing, and I was picking out all the good product, of course, the ones that aren't broken. And then this lady comes up that's a worker and she starts pulling all the rest. And I, casually, I'm like, oh, what are you doing? She's like, oh, somebody just ordered it this morning and I'm pulling all the order. Well, I've already pulled all the stuff that wasn't broken. So she's pulling all the broken stuff. So it was like, note to self, associates at the store, don't give a hoot what they're pulling. They're just going to pull whatever and fill up your cart. And then you go and you pick it up at the store. You assume they've pulled you something good, but that's not always the case.
That's a good tidbit.
Because I was like,
Eric, who joined us.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just looking. Hi to everybody out there.
So, the important question is, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking, and it's hot down here. You can see I'm like flushed.
Down here, you're up there. What are you talking about? You are up there.
It's summer, and I have no AC
everybody.
Down here. We're drinking, just Run Wild, 14 hands. Just I don't know, inexpensive, good bottle of wine.
I have twisted tea here for a backup. I'm currently drinking the twisted lemonade, though.
Very good, very good. You gotta have something at the end of the day.
Oh my gosh, today was just a little crazy. So yeah, it was. Yeah, today was crazy as far as. Yeah. As far as being a mom, it was just a little crazy. Just a little crazy. Yeah. So so my 11-year-old, he just started middle school this week. You and I were talking before the show. He started middle school this week, and so he biked to school for the first time today. And then he called me this afternoon and he's like, "Mom, you have to pick me up." And I'm like, "Why? What happened?" And he said, "My friends left me because I can't keep up with them on the bike."
Oh, no, poor thing.
And I was like, "I'm sorry, but I don't have a car today," because my oldest two, one went to work and one had previous plans, and we only had 2 cars. So I was like,
you gotta tough it out.
Sorry, buddy. But I was like pacing the house for like 15 minutes before he came home,
My kids, I love them. I love them to death, but they can drive you up the wall. I have it's a little flip calendar that I got at probably TJ Maxx or something, and it's just for birthdays. It's for permanent birthdays. So you always have it up and you just flip it over as things come. So your aunt's birthday is always August 12th or whatever. You're going to write that down, and then I can look at that at a glance and say, oh, I need to get a birthday present or a card or whatever. So my daughter saw that and wrote in that she's having a birthday party this Saturday, and wrote in like pretty loud and proud all over. But she's gotten in trouble. She has written on my furniture, and this is in the past. She says she's 11, and she says all this other stuff was in the past. But I'm like, don't write on mom's stuff without asking, because you have written on my walls, my furniture, my floors. She carved happy faces in my my vanity in my bathroom one day, and that was years ago, but still, like, I have that smiley face there, and I'm like,
see, that's one thing I like about you. You are very real, Lucy. You are real. You are a real mom.
It happens, and you're like, what are you doing?
I have to give a quick shout out to my buddy Lou, who just joined the chat. Hi, Lou.
Oh, so are you excited for Q4?
I am beyond excited for Q4. I went through some of my back inventory, my back stock that I have. So I actually have some stuff to send in this week.
Nice.
Yeah, that I'm excited about. Yeah,
and,
I'm really excited about. So how are you preparing? I know you said that you love Halloween. How are you preparing for Halloween? Because that is a huge season.
It is. And let's see here. There's so many things. It's like I'm all over the place.
I don't even know, like, Halloween. I don't even know where to start with Halloween. Like Christmas, I get that. Just being a mom and doing Christmas every year, I get how to prepare for Q4, to a point. I mean, I'm still, it's going to be my first Q4 on Amazon. Mm-hmm. But I have an idea. But Halloween, I don't have any clue. So how do you even do it?
Well, one is candy. I mean, if you're ungated in the groceries, candy is
I
a big
love
one.
candy. Right,
Um,
Lou? Lou knows my success stories with candy.
candy is always good.
My Easter candy was huge this year.
Yeah, I did really good on Easter stuff. Yeah, Easter like egg dyeing kits were really good. I
Yeah.
kind of tried that out. You
Yep.
buy them at 90% off, so you're nothing in.
Yeah, I have some
And
all stocked up
sold
and
out.
ready. Actually, I have some in the warehouse right now, and they're selling. They
Yeah,
sell throughout the year.
yeah. I even got a positive feedback on one. They're like, my kids love decorating eggs in the off season. And I'm like, okay,
Why
hey,
not?
there you go.
Why not?
So
So
for
candy, what
Halloween,
else?
like costumes,
Yep.
especially little baby costumes, Carter's baby costumes, dress your kid
You
up as
love
an
garters, don't
avocado
you?
or so that's always good. And then boy, there's just so many seasons back to back to back to back. I've been looking at back to school supplies, and then we have
I did
fall.
great this year with back to school. I
Mhm.
noticed that started kind of like mid-July even.
Yeah.
My sales started ticking up about mid-July.
Yeah, we are probably almost done with back to school. Unfortunately, I haven't even done my kids back to school because I haven't started yet. We don't even know what they need yet, and so I said I'll find out what they need right when the stores run out of everything.
Everything, and then you have to go on Amazon and buy it
Then I'll
from
have
me.
to buy it. But also, you got to think like, what else is in the fall? Football. Hello, people. If you're local and you have local sales on your football team, it could still do well because people move and then they still want to buy stuff for their team, and you may not be able to in the new place you're at. So I look for sometimes college, not as much, but the major teams, and we get all sorts of weird stuff up here as well as the Seahawks, but we'll get other teams I'll find on discount up here too.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we have,
football.
being in Florida, we have, because it's like very few people do you speak to that are actually from Orlando who live in Orlando.
Yeah, I agree.
90% of the people are transplanted from somewhere else. So we have like a huge hodgepodge of fans from everywhere.
Yep. The other thing that, just lots of different things cross my mind. People are going to be going to Christmas parties and those holiday parties. And so I am looking at I call them girdles. I don't know, whatever shapewear. Shapewear is very
Spanx.
big. And yeah, Spanx are really big in the
I know.
holiday
I got that
season.
photo from you.
You've had your turkey dinner.
Anybody that's watching, if you don't watch Lucy's channel for any other reason, watch it for some bolos, because this girl has made me some cha-ching in a big way.
What else? Just any winter season sport. You got gloves and hats. Your kids are going to grow out of their snow boots, gloves, hats, anything to do with outdoor cold activities. I like to look for the icy toners. You need a new pair of driving gloves or things like that. Those sell very well. In addition to the toys.
I just sold some of those. What are they called? I can't remember, but they warm your feet. What are those things called?
Foot warmers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was a special brand name. So I got a bunch of those sold, and then I have a bunch of hand warmers now that I have listed.
I had gotten some of those stuffed animals that are filled with, it's not rice, but rice equivalent, and they smell like lavender, and they're in different
like
animal shapes.
Therapy type stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that'd be a great Q4. Sold out.
What
whatever, it's August. People are buying
brand?
it. No, I don't remember. They were animal shapes. I don't remember what brand
Animal
it was.
shapes that smell like lavender. Got it.
Yeah, somebody was asking if they could air out the lavenders. You get weird questions on Amazon. My favorite was, will this diaper fit my baby? That's been my all-time favorite. Nobody's beat that one yet.
That's a crazy question. I had a question today for some toothbrushes, and it asked what type of battery the toothbrush takes. So my response was, great question. It doesn't take batteries. It's a manual toothbrush.
You gotta go like this. Oh, yeah. I just, I'm usually a size this. Will I fit in this? Honey, I don't know.
Those are my favorite, even on eBay and Poshmark. I'm like, here are the measurements.
Yeah, I can't tell you what's going to fit you because
I don't know. Because if I even tell you, you're going to get it and say it doesn't fit and tell me I
oh
didn't
yeah.
describe it correctly anyway.
I'm almost tempted at just my default answer to be no. No, it's not going to fit you. I don't want to deal with you because you're going to be a problem customer. I know it right now. I
So
just don't.
I know that you do eBay
Mhm.
too. Do you ever block buyers
Yeah.
because of their crazy questions?
Was that
I'm
an
like,
answer too quick?
I no, because I do the same thing. I'm like, crazy question, block.
It's more of like
Because I'm
if
like,
they're
I
trying to
don't
do
want to deal
something
with you.
that's not going to be the ones that ask you, how does
You
this
get that gut,
smell? Can
yeah, you
you
get
try
that
this
gut
on?
feeling. You get that gut feeling. You know,
Yeah.
one of my favorites was on Poshmark. They were bikini bottoms, and somebody said, "Could you take a real life photo of you wearing this?"
Yeah.
No,
No.
block. Or I
Yeah,
didn't know
exactly.
on Poshmark you can't block, but you can like report them or something like that. And I was like, no, this is creepy. I even said to my husband, "I was like, this is really creeping me out. I like don't report people on Posh, but I was like, I'm reporting this person because this is just weird."
The ones that can I pay you a different way and then have you ship it differently? Nope.
Oh,
Block. I don't
yeah,
know what
that
you're
is
trying to
creepy.
do, but I'm not down for that.
That is creepy. Hi, Cherry
Oh,
Picker. Welcome.
hello, cherry picker. So, what else is going on? So I went to ASD and
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I wanted to talk about ASD.
yeah, I got out. So I busted out some stuff just to
So, yeah, and
show.
just for anybody viewing, you have to go back and watch Lucy's video about her ASD follow-up because she has like this amazing video where she shows these different catalogs and you can actually, I mean, they're great contacts.
Well, thank you.
Um,
Yeah, it was my first time.
and
I'm
you were
so
flipping,
excited.
I know, I was so excited for you. And you were flipping through the chat or through the catalogs and you could actually see like, what the catalogs were about. So if it was something
Hmm.
you're interested in for your business, you can reach out and Lucy actually shares what catalogs they are.
Yeah, that's not a secret. And one of the
No,
things that everybody has been saying
so,
is sign
you're,
up for it.
yeah, you're so amazingly transparent on your channel. Do you, brings me to one of my questions for you. Do you, because you are so transparent about what you sell and what you find, are you afraid of giving away your secrets?
No, because I feel like I'm changing all the time and I'm doing something different kind of all the time. And nothing I'm sharing is like super secret. ASD is not a secret conference that you have to be invited
No,
to.
but
It's
I know, but it's
it's
like,
open.
just yeah, I don't know.
I,
You just
I I had feared that at first,
mhm.
but then I kind of find that there's so much information out there. One, and two, nothing I'm doing is really that secret or that different from what everybody else is doing out there. And you know what? I've coached probably several people, and that people just don't do what they need to do. I don't know. You could tell them where to go. You can tell them what to get. You could tell them ROIs. You can tell them, good products to get or something. And some people just don't do it, and they're not cut out for this, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Not everybody is. You have to realize that when you're working for yourself, you need to work for yourself. It's not.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to hold your hand and take you to the store, but I can tell you, what Amazon's policies are or what I've had good luck with, but that doesn't mean in 2 weeks time that's still the same thing. I've scanned stuff and sold it 3 months ago and now it's not worth selling.
Mhm.
That's just how fast the market changes. But then it might be good in Q4. I just picked up some Christmas stuff, which Tuesday morning is bringing out their Christmas stuff. Here's a bolo
Yay!
for you.
Maybe
Spode.
I will go tomorrow. Yes, Spode.
There are Spode products
I
out
have some
there that
Spode
are great.
napkins going in this week.
And, I could tell you to go to Tuesday morning, get some Spode product. The rank is really high right now because it's August.
Yeah, it's August.
But I tried it out last year and it sold very well. And so I'm going to do it again. But and that goes the same for me. Like I watch other people and they're like, oh, this product or that product. And I'm going, I don't have that in my area. I'd never come across it. There's a lot of reasons why maybe somebody is not doing the same thing as you. So
So tell us about ASD.
ASD was amazing. And even if you can't go, sign up to go and you'll get the vendor lists and the vendors that are there and information about that. So they have it on an app, which was really nice. I think it needs some improvements on the app, but it was still pretty good. Let's see here if I can get the layout. Okay, so these are the floors, and this picture is tiny. There was 2,000 vendors there.
2,000 vendors?
2,000 vendors.
Wow.
And they were broken up into sections. So you had like a toys, a home good. CBD was huge this year. Big CBD oil area. And that's not something that I'm comfortable getting into. I don't know any of the regulations around it. I don't know if it's Amazon friendly or not. So I was like, I'm not going to go to that section. And then they have one whole section that's cash and go. So you have to pay cash for things or pay for the items and you actually walk away from them. So I saved that part for last and just did some personal spending there. I didn't really, it was mostly jewelry. It was like 99% jewelry and 1% purses. And then some other weird things like tasers with your purse, I guess.
For those creepy eBay buyers.
Yeah. So the other parts that I focused on were really, really amazing. And I found a lot of good things. So one, there's a couple different ways people sell. There's wholesalers, which is what I'm looking for. There was closeouts, which you don't really get an invoice that's great for Amazon. So I'm staying away from those. And then there are...
Tell me more about that. What do you mean you don't get an invoice that's great?
Well, they go into stores and they'll like buy out the store and then you just buy their junk from them. So they're not going to itemize it. It's not direct from a manufacturer. They're not going to give you the proper paperwork if you get an IP claim.
Okay. So
while it'd be great for eBay or if you had a store to get rid of items with, it'd be another outlet. So it's, it's just not my business model. It has its uses for sure. And then there was a bunch of liquidation centers, which is kind of the same thing. I'm not entirely certain what, well, liquidation can be returns, which I found that it was mainly like Amazon returns. Well, I've done one or two of those and they're almost, you get a lot of junk that's not good to sell. It's kind of like buying a storage unit. You're taking a gamble. You could wind up with a honey hole, but for the most part, unless if you have employees that are sitting there that are going to process this, you can wind up looking like a hoarder house really quick with these liquidation lots. There's a very little amount that will be resellable for a decent amount of profit on there. So it's very labor intensive, but you get a lot of stuff for cheap. So I was looking mainly for wholesalers. So then the answer or the questions I would ask is, what's your MOQ, minimum order quantity? That was a keyword going around there. And then, what's the minimum I can order, and how do you ship it? Because there's like a whole China section, or I should say, it's not really China, but they have China. It was like China, Korea, and India were the main out of country sellers. And some of them will take 4 to 5 months to get the item to you. So you want to know, like, how long does it take to get me? Or do you ship it directly to Amazon? Mm-hmm. That was another question that you could do. Do you have to buy a pallet? One perfume lady was like, it's a 2 pallet minimum. I'm going, well, I'm not set up to take 2 pallets of perfume right now. And then, do you have an email or a flyer that I can get on the list for? So that was something else that I'd give them my business card and they would just put me on their list. So now I'm on their list. I'm in the loop if something catches my eye. So the other thing I did that was amazing was I went to this guy, CJ Rosenbaum, about Amazon suspensions and IP claims. And that was really, really good. And I enjoyed that thoroughly. There's a lot of other workshops there. Let me see here. Yeah, this was the conference schedule. This is how many conferences that are available, guys.
Wow.
Ridiculous. So there were conferences on bundling, crafts, set up and optimize your PPC, sourcing, subscription boxes, e-commerce solutions, outsourcing, like a packing station, those places that will pack all your Amazon stuff for you. So there's a lot of different business models, and it's really nice to just kind of go and see what your options are. Maybe that's not your option for right now, but maybe in 3 years that might be an option. Landshark Picker asked, do I sell perfume? Yes, I do. One of my favorite things to sell is Bath and Body Works mister sprays, and I am hazmat certified, so you can send them in. You do have to send them in ground, and you have to pay for the shipping outside of Amazon's system. So it better be something good, because shipping is expensive on perfumes to ship in.
But you enjoy perfumes?
Pardon?
You must enjoy them if you're putting that much effort into them.
No, they sell well. I don't really wear perfume.
Well, I mean, that's not what I meant. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. But they're work, just like clothes. You got to learn how to do it. And that's kind of what my goal has been since day one. I learned books, got really good at books, then toys, then home goods, and graduated up to different items, each time. And I took a chunk of time, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn everything I can about perfumes so that I have that opportunity in that market. Is it something that I want to do full time? Maybe not, but I know how to do it. So if an opportunity comes my way, I'm confident that I can do it well.
Yeah, and backing up, you've been reselling for 4 years, right?
4 years, yeah. Okay. But it's been a rough 4 years. I had shoulder surgery last year, and then I broke my foot this spring. So I've had some handicaps put into my life, so to say, which, you know how it is when you have family life. You got to work it out with your spouse and your kids.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything like that.
What are your top 3 takeaways from ASD?
Don't let anything stop you. I had this kind of mental block that I wasn't ready for wholesale, or I didn't have the capital, or I didn't have the ability to do it. And really, there are people out there that will sell you one case of something, or you don't have to buy pallets. There's a huge range from a minimum of single items, or maybe a case of 12, to some of the China shippers wanted at least 1,000 unit order. So there is a huge range in that. And then second was, I would really say that the IP claim stuff was huge, because it was at a point where there were people that were just sending out, get off my listing. You're on here. You're not allowed to be on here. And it was just other sellers trying to get you off of their selling, off the listing. And now this guy is saying that you can go back and take action against them if it is done falsely, etc.
Awesome.
So that's just interesting. I don't want to, I'm not a lawyer or anything, so don't take that too hard. But there are, yeah, read the book, and just know the rules. Know what you're doing correctly, know what you're not doing correctly, fix what you're not doing correctly, and then know what your rights are as a seller, because you can't just tell somebody to get off your listing because you don't like them on your listing.
Right.
You really do have to be the brand owner or associated with the trademark or the brand or whatever to do that. And then, just kind of have a plan of action, I guess. I know mine was kind of vague going in. I didn't want to set too many expectations, but I just wanted to say, okay, I'm going to get as much information as I can while I'm there, and I'm going to have a good plan to go through it and digest it when I get home.
Plan of action, I think, is huge in this business.
So you can't,
huge.
Yeah, you can't see it, but I redid my desk drawer right down here, and then this week I bought 50 of these guys, and I've been going through and labeling them, and then going through the catalog and putting essentially like little sticky notes on what I want. And so just this last week, I've made 4 wholesale orders.
Wow.
I've received one
You're
in.
So amazingly organized.
If I'm not,
it's the mom in you.
It doesn't get done.
It's the mom in you. Craig asked you a question here.
Okay, I found an item that I can buy for $8 and sell for $70 on eBay. It is sold by an offshore perfume website. Ever ordered from sites like that? From offshore? Not perfume, but I've done a lot of like tanning supplies from offshore companies. And you just want to make sure that you get an invoice. And then if it has SDS hazmat stuff to it, you want to get that regulation stuff sent to you. Now it's crazy, because it used to be called MSDS sheets, material safety data sheets. And I have a biology degree and chemical bio background. And then it switched to SDS sheets, which is just standard data sheet or something like that. So anyhow, Amazon has gotten really cracking down on that, especially with like the toys you saw, the back to school supplies. They now have to make sure you're compliant with the safety standards there. And there are, if you don't have it or it's a company, I would go to the company to get that safety regulation stuff at. There are third-party places where you can send it and test it and make sure it doesn't have lead or something crazy like that if you're really going to get into private label and things like that, if you need a toy safety sheet. For say, but for the perfume, yeah, I agree that selling it on eBay would probably be easier and better. But if you really wanted to get into it, just make sure you have all that safety stuff, because if you ship it into Amazon and you can't get it through the safety hoops, then you can't get it sent back, because they're not going to put it back on the road because they don't know the safety stuff to it. They're going to destroy it. And who knows what they do with it then. I have this idea of a black hole, but really it probably goes to those liquidation centers back again. And let's see here. Eric says we have somebody destroy a listing with false claims. Still hasn't recovered. Yeah, Eric, that has been an issue out there, and it was really bad last year. It was pretty bad. Yeah, no, I will reach out to you later, Landshark Picker, because that'll be interesting. I'd like to take a look at it just to see what you're looking at, because I too want to get more into perfumes, just because it doesn't seem to be very swamped. But again, you can't just sell. My mom was funny. I went and I saw my mom, and she was talking about ASD, and I'm like, I'm getting all these wholesale accounts. This is awesome. Da da da. And she goes, you know how like they could sell Coach purses out on New York corner and it's not really Coach? Can you do that on Amazon? I'm like, no, Mom, no. No, that is exactly what you cannot do. So no, I cannot get you Coach purses for $10. She's like, okay, I didn't know. She's funny. She sells antiques, and so she has a couple antique booths, and her business makeup is completely different than mine. But it's fun to talk to other people and see what they're doing.
Absolutely. And now, do they live in the Las Vegas area?
They do. I grew up in Vegas. Cool. I'm from Vegas.
Oh, that is awesome.
So it was easy for me to go there.
That's how you became such a spitfire.
Probably. Vegas is pretty crazy to grow up in. They did say, though, everybody that was there said March is a better ASD time than the July one. So if I go again, it will probably be in the March time. They said March is just bigger, more turnout. It's I thought the July one was the bigger one, but it's the March one. So if you are thinking about going, I have heard that they have more people there in the March time. It's also not going to be 115 degrees, which is a plus.
Now, you had several layoffs, you said, in corporate America.
Oh, my God.
So what is your background?
Oh, gee, many Christmas.
Take another drink. I didn't mean to bring up bad times, but
it's frustrating. But
I'm curious. I'm curious about what your background is.
I'll try to keep it under like a couple minutes here. But I graduated UNLV in Vegas with a degree in biology. And then my husband and I, we moved up here because he's in IT. I love this area. I've always wanted to live here. So we graduated and moved up here. And then I started life out in the labs at a dairy. And unfortunately, the workers there were union and the management was not. And the union for that plant walked out. And I don't know if you've ever been through a union walkout and you're on the non-union side, but you're trying to support the union. It's very hairy. So there was police.
I did that when I worked at Hopkins. Back in the day.
Hopkins, okay. Mm-hmm. And were you kind of stuck in the middle, or were you on?
Yeah, I was a nurse at Hopkins, and the union walked out. So instead of being a nurse, I did the all the duties that the union people would normally be doing. It's very interesting.
It's not a fun, and I'll just call it a pissing match because that's what it was. It was a pissing match between the head of the union and the head of my company, and nobody won. They actually fought for 2 to 3 years, and each side lost millions. But after 6 months of the police, the gates, the news all the time, the picketers, it was not a good first job with my degree. I'd been working a lot before that, obviously. So then I went on to Weyerhaeuser, and Weyerhaeuser is a huge German company that does housing. And they kind of went all into the housing right before '08. And then the '08 crash happened, and they were losing at one point like 1.3 million every 8 hours or something. It was crazy. So they laid us all out. So then I went on to Dendreon, which was a pharmaceutical company that I'm going to mix up the chronological order here because I can't remember exactly straight, but that lasted 8 days. And at the end of 8 days, we found out that their financial department was like swindling money. And so they had to lay off 80% of the company. And I was one of that. So I went to Bayer Healthcare. I'm like, oh, Bayer Healthcare. That's got to be,
that's gotta
everybody
be
knows Bayer, right?
Right.
Yeah. And they sold the plant to somebody else, and the plant was moving, and the QA department was not moving with it. So that job lasted not as long as I wanted to. And then I went to Sky Chefs, and I lasted there a couple of years before was laid off there. I worked at Taylor Farms a couple of years there. That was my last layoff. And after so many layoffs, and there was only one job that I actually quit, and then the rest were all layoffs. And so I said, you know what? I just can't do this. I have busted my butt. And the last 2 jobs were quality manager and a production manager. And in production manager, I had like 300 people under me with one other production manager. So we split them, and about 5 supervisors each, about 10 supervisors total. And there was one point where I worked about 26 hours straight, and then finally crawled home and went to bed. And I missed out on cooking for my kids, on baseball games, on all of those family events because I was so tied to work. And I just said, I can't do it anymore. I'm emotionally drained. I'm physically drained. And even though each job had a lot of great qualities to it, I was like, I can't continue to invest myself into these for the short term. I kind of want something long term, because the first 6 to 8 months that you're looking at a job, you're learning so much. You're learning the computer systems, you're learning the people, you're learning the procedures. And then as soon as you get comfortable, I'd be laid off. I was at a soup company for 2 years. They sold out to somewhere in Iowa, so they shut down that. And then just seeing those shutdowns was really sad, But anyhow, made a lot of friends. That was good. But
and then you were done peopling.
And then I was done. I was like, I can't. Just the interviewing and the process of getting hired and going through all the interviews and then the setup and learning all the stuff and then having to do it all over again. After 8 times, I'm like, I got to take a break.
What drew you to reselling? What was that light bulb moment that you're like, this is what I'm going to do?
I was pretty fed up with the last layoff. I'll be honest. I came home and I was like, there's some words were said. Some words were said.
But so what was that thing that made you say, I want to resell?
I went home and I literally told my husband, I'm like, I'm going to Google work from home and come up with whatever options are out there and pick one at the end of the damn week. So I researched it all. I researched selling Tupperware and LuLaRoe and eBay and Amazon. I don't think Poshmark was really around 4 years ago.
No,
didn't cross my mind. So I came up with like the top ones that I wanted. I'm like, Amazon. That looks like the freaking ticket. That looks like something that I can scale. I can put in the amount of work that I'm used to working and make it work for myself. And then I took 6 months and built it up, and then I started paying myself after 6 months.
Wow. What a journey.
Oh, that's nice. Junk Trader is talking about perfumes. Yeah, it's fun what you can sell out there. I've in my off time, I'm just looking out at things, and sometimes like old Victoria's Secret or some of the older perfumes that are discontinued are amazing. Yeah. Amazing to sell. What about you? What drew you to this game?
I just was cleaning my closet out one day.
And you said, I got to make some money off of this, or why did I buy it? Or
yeah, I didn't know what to like. I was cleaning my closet out one day, and I had piles of stuff I needed to get rid of, and I was so tired of just taking it to Goodwill and just giving it away.
Mm-hmm.
So I started just Googling ideas about how to get rid of clothes. And there was Poshmark. So I started my Poshmark journey, and then I started getting tied into the reselling community through YouTube. So then
Mm-hmm.
I went on to eBay, and from eBay I went to Amazon, and here I am.
Yeah, a lot of people either really love eBay or really love Amazon, and I like eBay. Don't get me wrong, but I love the flexibility with Amazon.
I
With
like the velocity with Amazon because
there's that
my
too.
mind is constantly racing. So if things are not moving,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everything just stops. So at least, with Amazon, the velocity is moving.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And I don't know, eBay. So there was some. I'm trying to catch up with all of the YouTube stuff that I've missed over the last couple of weeks, but I was trying to pay attention to eBay Open and what people are talking about. And it's nice that they're going to do the pictures and allow you to white out the background for the Google
Yeah,
searches.
I heard about that. Yeah, that's awesome.
And then we were talking earlier, I want to try that seller hound because I've got piles of eBay stuff to get rid of. And
Yeah.
if I can just take pictures and somebody lists it for me, I'm all over that.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
So Junk Trader says, don't you get a bunch of returns on Amazon and that deters you? You do, but I don't see it as really a huge difference than percent wise than from eBay. So if I sell 100 things on eBay, I might get 1 or 2 returns. If I sell 1,000 items on Amazon, I might get, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 returns. So I don't find it too bad. I find that a lot of people buy things and then they forget or don't follow through with the return. At least just from the other side, when I talk to other people and they're like, oh, I have returns and I never get them done. But they are trying to make it easier to return. They've opened up that you can return at Kohl's now. And then a lot of times those items just go back into the warehouse and then they sell them again. So as far as getting it stranded and sent back to me because it's broken or whatever is not really the case. And then when I do get it back, then it just goes on to eBay. So it's not as bad as what people make it out to be. But that being said, I do check and triple check and package very well. So I make sure I'm on the right ASIN. I stay away from problematic ASINs. If you see an ASIN and it's got 3 colors to it, only 1 color is showed. Let's say it's a red doodad and it says this could be red, orange, or green.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are going to return it because they wanted the red one. They see the red, they think they're going to get red. They're not going to read the title. So I stay away from problematic ASINs like that.
Yeah, I do the, whatever the image color is.
Mm-hmm.
If I really want to sell that product, I only, if the image is a green product, I only get the green.
Exactly. I had a giraffe the other day that came up and there was 3 colors at the store and I'm like, only getting the color it says.
Yep, exactly. And actually that, I'm glad that Junk Trader mentioned that because I actually have a video request from you. I want to put in a request. My request is to do a video about how you track your returns in Amazon. So you get an email that this return was started, and then what do you do after that? I know we don't have to do anything on our end, that Amazon takes care of it, but I still want to know where the product is, what happened to the product, why the customer returned it, what the fees and penalties are, how much money did I lose?
Well, let's see here. So wow, this is a pretty big one, but one
So that's
Inventory Lab
maybe it would be a video request.
Inventory Lab is now tracking this for you. So if you do Inventory Lab,
which
they supposedly have a new. I just got downloaded while I was actually at my parents'.
Yeah.
So I haven't played with it, but supposedly it's now tracked through Inventory Lab. You can go pull a report on Amazon. And see what your returns are and what the reasons for the returns are. But you got to take that with a grain of salt because a lot of people know that if you select certain things, you'll get the free shipping back. And so they select those certain things to get the free shipping back.
As described.
And then it goes back into your warehouse if it's still good. If it's not, it goes into stranded inventory. And I just have mine set up like twice a month. It clears stranded inventory and just returns it back to me. And then I sell it on Amazon. As far as like for your CPA, you've already paid the cost of goods, and all the other information is going to be in the reports that you get and stuff. So it'll be tracked through your inventory lab and or however you track your finances. I do QuickBooks. So
yeah, I'm doing GoDaddy right now, but I'm thinking about switching it up because I don't think GoDaddy's is what I need right now. It
up
just
to
it
you. I
doesn't.
like QuickBooks. I've heard good things about GoDaddy too. So flip a coin.
Yeah.
Flip a coin. So Landshark said that he thinks that Cellhound is only for clothing. I'll have to check that out because I do have clothing, but I was hoping it was for hard goods. I have a lot of hard goods. Let's see here. Talking about perfume here. Yeah, there's a lot of perfumes. There's some like old Chanel perfumes that even the bottles are worth stuff. And yeah, I don't know if there's a discontinued registry either. I'd love that. I love Thrift to Travel. She does a lot of perfumes and discontinued beauty products that go well over on eBay. Yeah, Thrift to Travel on Instagram. She's probably one of my favorites to follow over there. But I never find the stuff. Like she'll say, "Oh, this is great," and I don't find it. And she's only a couple hours north of me, and I'm like, "We're in almost the same area." But her, like, the further she goes south is about as high as I go north in terms of location. But one of these days I'm going to message her and I'll be like, "Hey, let's meet up." But she's an interesting one to follow because she'll do like Grocery Outlet and some of the other stores and do discontinued beauty products.
Check her out.
Yeah.
My little son Will just joined the chat, so we have to say hello to Will.
Hello, Will.
He's being silly.
Nice. So what are you doing for Q4? Are you doing anything in different, or do you have a plan, or do you not do something?
I am doing just as much Amazon as I can. I don't have a particular plan this year, no, since it's going to be my first year with Amazon Q4.
Mm-hmm.
As far as eBay goes, I'm just going to continue to, anything that I cannot sell on Amazon that's good, I'm just going to continue to list on eBay. So that's not changing.
Same here. I picked up some Levi jeans that were waist size between
I got
50
ungated
and
in
60.
Levi's. I was excited.
You got ungated?
In Levi's.
I haven't. Jeez.
You have no?
No.
Well, then maybe I misunderstood it, but it seemed like I did.
I will have to go and try again. I'll just keep trying. I'll spam that sucker. But
try it because
I'll do it after the show.
I'm like,
no, it's all, I don't know. Nobody knows the metrics. We all have guesses on the metrics, but nobody knows like the secret formula.
Maybe I'm not.
There's a secret sauce. But I picked up Levi's for eBay. I like selling Levi's over there. But TJ Maxx had them clearanced out. So waist size 50 to 60.
Oh, wow.
$8 a pair. Men's
That's
Levi's.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, go try again. And then let me know.
I will. That's like one of the few. I wish there's a couple brands out there. LOL Surprise, Fingerlings, and Levi's are like my top 3 that I want to get ungated in. But don't let that deter you either. Like, you don't need to be ungated in everything when you're first starting out. There's so much out there.
Oh, yeah.
Really, you can do this without doing that. And then just keep applying. I don't think people get that. They're like, "Oh, I'll get it someday. No, you need to apply for stuff like every time you see that you're gated for it, go ahead and apply, even if you're not going to get it. Even if it's a terrible ROI or margin, just go ahead and ungate for it.
Have you ever noticed on days, maybe this is just me, and I'm very superstitious, but on days that my sales seem to be sliding down, if I go out and start scanning stuff, all of a sudden my sales start picking up.
I haven't noticed that, but I do notice like Tuesday when it's paycheck time, or if there's like a delivery, I have inventory going to the warehouse and they're scanning it in. I'll notice lag times in what my sales are showing. I'll be like, "Oh, my sales are junk. Oh, yay, they're good." they've had in the last month several glitches or been down, been laggy, been behind. So that's where it's nice to belong to a couple Facebook groups or Instagram, because you can say, hey, is anybody else noticing some glitches? And then when everybody's like, yeah, me too, me too, me too, you know, it makes you feel a little bit less anxious.
Well,
And
if you ever notice your sales are down, try starting to like just scan stuff that like you might already have like, you know, ready to send in, and just scan it again anyway.
I will try your theory.
There was one day that my sales were like really bad, and my husband's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just scanning stuff, just scanning. I'm like, I just need to scan stuff. Just get out of my way. Move."
I do notice trends with like holidays now that I've been doing it a few times. Easter Sunday, not a good sales day. Not at the beginning. Sometimes it'll pick up in the evening, afternoon. Tuesdays seem to be a little bit low. Sundays
My
seem to pick up in
Tuesdays
the
are
evening.
good. My Tuesdays are good.
It's every other Tuesday because it's the Tuesday that most people get paid on. Now I know some people get paid on other days now, but the Tuesday that I get paid on, usually it will lag out a little bit.
Yeah.
Between 11 and 5. That's the other thing. Like I'm on Pacific Standard Time, so I don't know. Just seems a little bit off. It seems like a lot of the sales and stuff might not be in Pacific zone.
So, well, we're creeping up on an hour here, but I have another question for you that I'm dying to ask.
Yes.
What are your top 3 bolos?
Ooh, right now I'm looking for Spode. Well, I'll just say Christmas stuff, Spode, Linux, Mikasa. And then Disney, like the Disney collectible ornaments and stuff. So I'm really looking out for that Christmas Q4, those items. Christmas tree bags always do well, and Christmas tree stands. I can't believe it. So when you are cleaning up at the end of Christmas and those things go to clearance, keep your eye out for that. Deer foam slippers. Deer foam slippers. We got slipper season coming up. I am looking out for deer foam slippers.
Yeah.
And then, boy, we got some movies coming out. So anything related to the new movies coming out.
Like which movies?
I would say
I know you follow Disney big time.
Yeah,
I'm
Star Wars.
a Disney follower. Maybe I need to start following it more, I guess.
Well, I just know because of the kids and trailers that we see on TV and whatnot. But we've got Star Wars coming up, I believe in December, isn't it? The last one comes out. So there's probably going to be anything Star Wars coming out. And then let's see here. What else?
Wasn't there a new Lion King that just came out?
Yeah, but I haven't seen the new Lion King or the Aladdin. I've heard they're pretty bad. So I'm kind of waiting for
Yeah,
Redbox.
John and I went to see the new Aladdin, and it was actually really good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I've heard mixed. So you'll be my second one that has said it is good, but I have 2 that said bad. So
you know the song "Whole New World"
that
they sing? That was actually our wedding song. We got married 25 years ago when the first Aladdin was out. And that was our wedding song. So on our anniversary, we went to see the new Aladdin.
Oh, that is so sweet. Oh. Let me see here. Mom, are you going to respond to me in real life? That's from your son.
I know, and I'm trying to ignore him the best I can.
I know. I've heard the door knock twice while I'm here, and it's like, come on now. You all knew that I just wanted an hour. An hour! Leave me alone for 1 hour, people. It's like when you're in the restroom. I'm like, I don't need customers in the bathroom. Go away. Go away. Leave me alone. People.
These people are cray-cray that live here. I'm telling you. There's some crazy people that live in this house.
And then, no, you're spelling Spode right. Spode is a brand, and you can find it usually in, like Macy's, Nordstrom, Tuesday Morning, and they do a very famous Christmas tree.
Here, I can go grab if you don't mind, just 1 minute.
No,
I have
go for
Spode napkins right around the corner. Hold on.
Yeah. Spode does a couple other patterns that are very, very popular. And so what will happen is you get out your Christmas dishes and you need a couple new plates because they're chipped or whatnot. And they've been harder to find just because they're just not there as much. And you can order them on Amazon for almost the same price. So last year I was getting Christmas Spode plates for $9.99 or $19.99 and selling them for $60, $70 a plate on Amazon. Same with tablecloths. Don't forget the tablecloths for those big brands. that are very popular. Again, the Lennox and Spode for tablecloths. And they're just very popular patterns. And a lot of times you need to put out more than one table for your big Christmas dinner. And so you want to get matching tablecloths or whatever. Maybe yours has some stains on it. I know all mine do. So you want to get a new tablecloth. But they're very, very nice quality stuff. Spode is a very good brand. And yeah, they have a couple other patterns that are very popular as well. But I haven't really tried diving into the other patterns and stuff like that, other than the paper stuff and the tablecloths. So anyhow, Lennox also does a lot of different dishwares. So serving dishes, your gravy boats, forks and napkins, things like that.
Well, that took longer than I expected. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm just talking about Spode.
It was at the bottom of the bin. I'm digging through the bin. I'm like, I know it's in here.
So which pattern do you have?
There we go.
Yep. That's the Christmas Spode pattern.
There we go.
And that's one of the popular ones. So I like to look for the popular stuff because that's what sells.
Yeah, and it says at down here at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Where's?
It's not coming out, so just say what it is.
It just says. I mean, it just says Spode on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the back of the dishes are gonna. If you pick up a dish and turn it over, it's gonna say Spode too. So you're welcome, Eric.
Yeah, Eric, that's been around a while because even when we got married 25 years ago, Spode was big.
Oh, that's classic.
Yeah, Spode is not going anywhere anytime soon.
No, and I think I really, because my mom owns an antique store, and so I know a little bit of antique stuff just from osmosis there. But there was a big period of time where people were kind of not wanting to do the old ways, not having linens or, like I explained tip towels to my son, that back in the day you used to eat with your fingers, and then you would get a bowl to dip your fingers in during the courses of the meals and then dry them off. And that was how tip towels, the history of them. And while tip towels are not a good seller on Amazon, just FYI, that is the history of them. There's a lot of pieces like that are kind of the older ways that are kind of coming back in style now. You see a lot of older styles coming back, just like high waist jeans and whitewash and
I know when high waist jeans started coming back, I was like, really? My daughter, I remember this was maybe 5 years ago. She's like, I want to get some high waist jeans. She's like, I think they're just so cute. And I was like, really? Like it's like, when they just started to trend back, I was shocked.
You have a whole group of people now that is getting, I don't want to say old because I wouldn't put myself in that category yet, but they're entertaining and they want to have a nice table set, or they don't want to look like they live at IKEA anymore. And so it's the truth. I still look like I live at IKEA upstairs.
That's what I was thinking.
But you get to a point in your life where you want to buy kind of a nicer quality item, and those are sometimes passed down. I have dishes from my godmother or my mother, and you want to match those dishes or put on something nice. So
do you know Blue Danube?
Yeah,
your mom had a bunch of stuff that reminded me of Blue Danube. That was our China pattern for our wedding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
we are old country rose, and 10 years later, my husband's like, "Why do we have this pattern?" I'm like, "That's the pattern." Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, we are over an hour now. Landshark, are you still around? I think he wanted to hang out for a minute offline with Lucy and I. Are you still there?
The lag. There's a bit of a delay.
Yeah. So any last words, Miss ReSELLer Mom?
Be excited. Try to be as organized as you can, and get out there and get stuff to the warehouses because Q4 is coming up, and
I'm getting in as much as I can. That's what I'm doing to prepare. I'm just shipping it all in.
And don't wait. Do not ever sit on your stuff.
No, it is going in starting this week.
Yep.
Any of my back inventory is okay.
Every time I've sent stuff in to get into Q4, it's like sold before the end of October.
That's awesome. Crazy. Awesome. Okay. Craig, I'm going to go ahead and email you a link, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and go off air. So thank you for joining us, everybody. It's been
Thank you
so
for
much
having me.
fun. Yes. Stay on, Lucy.
All right, we'll do.
Good night, everybody.